Hello my witchy friends, welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. My name is Sophie, I'm the Midwest Magician, and today we're going to be talking all about house spirits and how I like to connect with mine. Before we get started, I did want to mention that this video is in collaboration with not one but two different creators here on YouTube. And those creators are Justin, the Witch of Enchantment, and Ivy Corvus. Justin will be going over how he likes to connect with his house spirit in his video, and Ivy is going to give you a very detailed list of ways that you can connect with your house spirit. I will have their videos and channels linked in the description box down below, but I am positive that you're already subscribed to both of them. They have amazing content and they are such great friends of mine. So thank you so much, Justin and Ivy, for including me in this collaboration. Very quickly, before we dive into the main content of the video, I wanted to briefly go over what a house spirit is. A house spirit is kind of exactly what it sounds like. It is the spirit of the dwelling that you reside in, and typically they are the guardians and protectors of the home, the energy within the home, and from my experience, they help to maintain protection and harmony within its walls. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing different methods that I like to connect to my house spirit, which include simmer pots, magical powders, journaling, and offerings. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the ways that I connect with my house spirit. So as I briefly mentioned, the house spirit is the actual spirit of the dwelling that you're living within. And it can be a little bit tricky sometimes to notice its energy. Since all house spirits are different, there's going to be different ways that they kind of communicate with you, and it can be very subtle and in everyday ways. This could be noticing changes in the energy of the home. You could hear little bumps and knocks that are unexplained, not by mundane things. If you are hearing bumps and knocks in your house, I would definitely check for anything that might be causing little problems. You might feel different temperatures in different spots, or different parts of your home could be appearing in dreams, or you might just get an intuitive hit. My best advice for sensing your house spirit is just to trust your intuition. And as we'll talk about later, journaling will help out a lot in this process. But the first thing I want to talk about is creating a simmer pot to kind of awaken your house spirit. The ingredients that I chose to wake up my house spirit are obviously water to hold the intentions of the ingredients that I put in. I used two types of citrus, being orange and lime, for their energizing and awakening properties. I used pepper flakes to promote warmth and comfort, and clove to promote peace and to ward off negativity. A little pinch of salt for purification, and peppercorns for protection, as well as some cinnamon for abundance. And with my simmer pots, I do like to bring them to a rolling boil before I turn the heat all the way down to allow it to simmer. You can top it off as needed, because I personally like to keep my simmer pots going for as long as possible. I do like to say an incantation just to kind of help to wake up the house spirit. And for me, I really like to do the simmer pot as kind of a way from transitioning to doing regular housework into working with the spirit of the house. Which leads us into the next portion, which is creating a magical floor powder. So I like to make this powder for sweeping my home, and I like to add it to my floors before I do any type of cleaning. And the reason that I make this is just to kind of clear out any negative or stagnant energy within the home, and to invite in positivity, as well as the other properties that we're adding into our powder. The ingredients that I chose for my floor powder are baking soda for freshness, just to kind of revive the energy in the home. I will say though, if you do choose to use baking soda, make sure it does not get on the bottom of your shoes, because it can get quite slippery. I also chose rose petals to promote love and peace within the home. I used rosemary as a kind of protective herb. I used lavender to promote calmness and peace and tranquility. And then I used coffee for some renewed energy. Of course, you can swap out these ingredients for anything that fits your intention or for what you have within your home already. I know I like to use what I have on hand. I do like to reserve just a portion of that powder as an offering on my altar for the spirit of my house as well. As I am kind of mixing and blending the ingredients together, I like to charge the powder with my intention, so I do speak in affirmations and incantations as I'm stirring everything. And then it's time to add the powder to the floor and begin sweeping. And as I'm sweeping, I am not necessarily worried about picking up dirt and dust. What I'm really doing is kind of visualizing and imagining the powder cleansing and blessing my home. And as a little tip, after I finish sweeping out a room, I do like to take just a little pinch of the powder and put it either on top of a door frame or a windowsill, just to keep that energy within the room as I do go in and actually clean it with cleansers. So that'll kind of bring us into our next little section, which is keeping a journal for working with your house spirit. I know I'm personally not the best at keeping a journal, but I am really trying to get better at it. And here's why. Keeping a journal can help you track the changes in energy within your home and any signs your house spirit gives you, whether they be subtle or obvious. Kind of things that I personally want to document are the different things that I'm doing for the house spirit each day that I do choose to work with it. And I also like to take note of how the energy in the home feels on those days and the days after I do the work with the house spirit. This would be noticing any energy shifts, feelings of peace, feelings of comfort, or feelings of discomfort. And actually, I wasn't planning on originally sharing this, but I did try to film this video before, and I had done my simmer pot. I did a completely different recipe than what I usually do to connect with my house spirit. And I've never had this happen ever with a simmer pot, but it completely boiled over and it smelled burnt and horrible. So I definitely wrote down everything that I used for that simmer pot and made sure to notate that my house spirit did not like that one. So for this one that I did today, I went back to my basics, which is completely fine. I'd rather my house spirit let me know as soon as possible if there's an offering that it does not like, so I don't keep doing it in the future. Another thing that you can track in your house spirit journal is different offerings you give, like I was just talking about with the simmer pot, and your house spirit's response. Really think this will benefit by helping you develop a deeper connection with your house spirit and to kind of work and understand their different preferences. And over time, you might not have to journal because you will kind of get in the groove and know what your house spirit likes and doesn't like. But I'm somebody that's been working with my house spirit for well over a year, and I still gave it a simmer pot that it didn't like. So overall, I think journaling is a great way to kind of track your progress with working with your house spirit. And this will kind of bring me into the last section, which is different offerings for your house spirit. I think the offerings really matter to the house spirit because it's a way of showing respect and gratitude to your house for everything that it does for you. And it's a great way to strengthen your bond with your house spirit. As I mentioned before, house spirits are all going to be different, and they will let you know in subtle or not so subtle ways whether they like your offerings or not. So you might have to try a few different ones out before you really get into the ones that your house truly enjoys. Some offerings that I personally have found to be very well liked and accepted by my house spirit would be fresh bread. So every time I bake a loaf of bread, I do give my house spirit the very first slice, and I put it over on my altar where you saw me put the floor powder. I do like to give my house spirit flowers as an offering as well, typically fresh ones. In the winter, I'll get them from the grocery store, and I really like to give baby's breath to my house spirit. But in the warmer months and in the early fall, I'll go outside and cut different flowers. Typically that'll be lavender, and in the fall, I like to give my house spirit mums, chrysanthemums. As far as where to put your offerings in general, it's really up to you and the spirit of your home. For me, what works the best is I do have one spot on my altar that is reserved for the spirit of the house, but I do, as you saw with the flowers, I like to put things in a bunch of different spots just so not one portion of my house feels any kind of neglect. And again, after leaving an offering, just kind of try to take notice of the different energies that you feel from your house to see if it's something that your house likes or if it is something that you should maybe leave out next time. So kind of to wrap things up, I thought I would give just a few tips for maintaining a harmonious relationship with your house spirit. Continuing to check in with your house spirit with regular offerings, simmer pots or floor powders or whatever method you choose to connect. I personally also like to acknowledge my house spirit at the very least once a day. Typically what I'll do is in the mornings I will get up, I'll come into this room, I'll open all the curtains up. I do acknowledge my ancestors, my plant spirits. I know, talk to Vinegar, my familiar spirit, and I also do say good morning to my house spirit every morning. I'd like to start saying goodnight to it every night, but some nights I'm so tired that I don't even think about it and I just go straight to bed. But I will try to be mindful and say goodnight every night as well. Another tip would just be to stay respectful of the energy within your home. Don't try to force anything to work. Like if I were to keep doing the same simmer pot that my house rejected over and over, I feel like that would create I don't want to say hostile, but I can't think of a better word. It would create an environment that is not harmonious. I think it's best to do things in small increments and kind of let the relationship unfold naturally. Just pay attention to the signs that your house spirit is giving you, and over time, you will learn what they like and don't like. It's kind of just a trust the process type of scenario. But that is really all I have for this video. Thank you so much again to Justin, the Witch of Enchantment, and Ivy Corvus for including me in this collaboration. I had such a fun time working on this video and I cannot wait to see what you put out. And just as a final reminder, your home is sacred and the spirit of your house is a vital part of that sacredness. It's best to approach the relationship with openness, with love, and with gratitude. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. If you made it this far in the video, can you leave a little broom emoji? I love to see who watches all the way until the end. Again, thank you so much for being here and I will see you very soon for the next video. Bye.